Yes, good evening. Yes, we're earlier than usual. Yes, we already know it, so nobody needs to tell us. Okay. And we've got quite a few things to get on with, so we're gonna get straight in, and we're gonna go with that man, that absolute fab man. Yes, I am. Okay, there he is, the man with the English flag right next to him. Okay, English through and through. Not like me, a hybrid. Well, hybrids are gonna be in soon, aren't they? You know, back me up, Mark. They're gonna be in, aren't they? Toyota are doing well with them.
I don't know what policies did we have for hybrids. I don't know yet. Not decided.
You sounded like Jason Manford from the comedian when he was taking off a Liverpudlian. And I there.
I try.
Okay,
No, he's one person I've not seen live. I've seen pretty much all of them, but just not him.
Well, okay, let's get straight into it. I mean, with everything that went on last week, we deserve to have a little blast of this.
What is it? Oh, yeah. YouTube will love it.
Well, let's get on there. Remove, deport your party. Okay? And we've got all the policies. Let's get through them. Show them again. Look at this. We're like on the move, Mark. We're on the move.
Slow down. We've got more coming in a bit, but yeah.
That's why I'm actually going through them, because I want to make time to make sure that you can got the time to do those. But anyway, quick, interesting fact that nobody knows.
They will do in a minute.
The Tony Blair Institute for Global Change is funded by billionaire Larry Ellison. The executive director of the Larry Ellison Foundation is Matthew Simmons. Matthew Simmons is the father of Carrie Simmons. Carrie Simmons is the wife of Boris Johnson. Now let that all sink in for everybody. Yeah. And they're
all in it together, aren't they?
And they want to get our man Farage together with Boris. Really?
Whatever you think of Nigel, I don't think he's going to let that happen.
No, I don't think so.
Not after last time.
Here's a little bit of comedy to kick things off before we get into what happened last week. And it's about Tesco. One of your favorite stores.
Yeah, if you put the prices down.
Have a listen.
We know there's a cost of living crisis. That's why we've put up our prices. There's no point us both struggling.
Well, answered that question, didn't it?
Shopping can become repetitive. That's why we rearrange the whole store every week so you can't find anything.
We know it's annoying when an old person blocks you from looking in the fridges. Now security will remove them.
What do you think? Be honest. It actually matches up. Okay.
It does. It feels like every time you go in the shop, something you bought yesterday costs more.
Yep, absolutely.
It's every day.
Excuse me. Do you want to be able to walk down that aisle? That aisle will cost you £1 to walk down before you can buy anything. Look, I've just given Tesco an idea at the supermarkets. They'll be selling tickets at the end of the aisles.
Don't give them ideas.
Well, okay, here's a woman that has some ideas, and this is the woman after your own heart, sir. And then we're going to get on to that man, Farage. I don't know who she is, but listen to what she's saying.
We never gave approval for this government to do this. You work for and on behalf of us, the British people. We are not the United Nations. We should be prioritised before anyone from foreign countries. We will no longer be silent to tolerate our country and everything it stands for being eradicated by a government that is permeated by lies, scandal and deceit, whilst pretending to be paragons of virtue. We have had enough. The population of Britain demands their country, their freedom, their culture, and their very identity back. The government has tried to break our very spirit.
Well, what do you think of that?
Was that Esther McVeigh?
Well, I have to say that I think that she got that spot on. Spot on. And, you just sit back and you just go, what? So last Friday, what were the biggest things that came across to you?
Friday. Well, I worked on
last
Friday.
week then. Don't call it last week. Call it last week.
I worked on Friday. It probably rained on Friday. Oh, the reform. Right, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but
the reform pantomime. I mean, the reform conference.
Well, at the same time, okay, Labour did their reshuffle, and we got the news of that through the day. So reform.
Reshuffle, yeah. How can we forget the reshuffle, mate?
Well, I'm going to have to mute the movie sound on this because it'll be a copyright strike. Okay, but here's the Exeteers. Check it out.
Oh, I've got something on this.
I had to mute that.
I was going to say, quick, turn that music off. Yes, I'd just like to congratulate our local MP Justin Mathers on his demotion. Well done. You've put about a decade of effort in, and you've got nothing to show for it. So
nothing
I think
whatsoever.
the on the wall, mate. It's time to step down soon. I would if I was you.
Well, I think he's going to have a massive, massive problem.
Okay. I mean, just the amount of time, and he's put in this for years. It's over 10 years, surely, isn't it? He's been there approximately 10 years. He's been in the shadow cabinet, and they've just cast him aside. Oops.
Yep, gone. So here's another one for you, okay? And it's very, very quick.
He's obviously not valued, but congratulations.
He doesn't fit in.
In just over 1 year, this Labour government have lurched from one crisis to another. The Prime Minister promised a break from sleaze, but within weeks of coming into power, his government was caught up in Freebiegate. He was eventually forced to pay back over £6,000 worth of gifts that he'd received from wealthy donors. Then the Transport Secretary, Louise Haigh, it turned out that she'd previously been convicted of fraud. She had to go. Then it was the turn of former anti-corruption Minister Tulip Sadiq, who resigned over a corruption scandal. Are you still with me? Right. Next up, we have the Runcorn Rocky, the Helsby Razor, and Iron Mike Amesbury.
You won't ever threaten me again, will you?
We covered this.
Threaten me again, will you?
Yes, former Labour MP Mike Amesbury was chucked out of the party and received a prison sentence for punching a constituent to the ground. He was caught on camera. In May, Lucy Powell, who lost her job in government today, was forced to apologise after this shocking moment.
I don't know whether you saw the documentary on Channel 4 about rape gangs over
this.
We want
to blow that little trumpet now, do we? Yeah,
there was a real issue.
Let's get that dog whistle out.
Oh, she's ranted.
And let's not forget Homelessness Minister Rushana Ali, who resigned after evicting her tenants before quickly listing her property again at a much higher rate, breaching the terms of Labour's incoming Renters' Rights Bill. Right, fast forward to the start of this week and the return of Parliament after the summer holidays. The Prime Minister was doing his level best to reboot his government.
Summer's definitely over, and this morning we've got all the Number 10 staff together and talk through what phase 2 of the government is going to look like and feel like. So we go into phase 2, 1st of September 2025, in good spirits, confident and with conviction about what we're doing.
And how's that going?
We can confirm Angela Rayner has resigned from the government. This comes moments after the Prime Minister received this report from Sir Laurie Magnus.
The housewoman was filling houses.
So the big question tonight, can the Prime Minister survive these scandals? Is this government on the brink of collapse?
Well,
all I'm going to say is I hope they haven't got a children's minister.
Mark, when Angela Rayner went, this was the first thing that came into my mind.
That's I said. That's who she got the advice from.
I mean, come on. You know, it just has to be, you know, that is the case. There's just no two ways about it. And Sabina Mahmood, what's your opinion on her?
Scumbag.
Okay. Well, she's our new Home Secretary.
Well, just think and just make it a point to just look at how many criminals have reoffended since being released from prison due to her.
Shabana, isn't it? Yeah.
And it makes you piss boil thinking, what are the immigrants going to get away with?
Well, she was part of the protests for the Gaza and Palestinians. And, you know, here's an example of it straight away.
I'm just here. It's Saturday afternoon. A peaceful protest outside of a
Listen to what goes on in the background here, kiddo. Just listen to what they're saying.
Sainsbury's store here in central Birmingham, and it's 3:30, and the store has actually just shut as a result of the peaceful protest. That's about 4.5 hours worth of business that Sainsbury's is losing for supporting goods from the Israeli settlements, which are illegal under international.
Can you hear all that? I mean, that is... So she's our new Home Secretary.
Sounds like she's well off for a global intifada, doesn't it?
Well, have a listen to this, another quickie, and look who she's sat with. And look who's sat in the meeting with her. Listen to this.
You know, the people that you see holding the English flag most of the time down my neck of the woods will be the EDL, and they are white and they are male and they're bad people and they want to divide our community.
Look, the EDL had a Sikh division, so you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, have a look. Who's sat there? Who is that? Who's that MP?
Let me put my glasses on.
Oh, you're not going to believe this.
Which one? Him on the left?
Yeah, well, no, not him on the left, on the right, as you're looking at it.
Oh, is that recently newly demoted MP?
Yes, our recently promoted to the back benches.
He's fell from his heights. No, she is scum. If it's good enough for Rayner, it's good enough for us. I'm not being funny. I saw another video, and this was when I think it might have been when Cameron and that were in government, but it wasn't these.
Yeah.
And she's basically saying to protest against whatever was happening in flipping Gaza at the time, because there's always a drama. Turn up 20 of you, mob-handed at your MP surgeries, and, well, you know the rest. So I'm just wondering now if that still fits. Now she's in government, and she's meant to be dealing with the whole Gaza thing, which is really not her responsibility.
Yeah, but what are they going to do now about the flags?
Well, turn up at surgeries, 20 people, and make noise, like she says. I'm just repeating what she says.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's messing with the flags. Hang on, it's all contradictory, because they've tried to stifle this raising the colours thing by some of these Labour people saying, oh, we love the flag, we've got them ourselves at home, they're up everywhere, blah, blah, blah. You know, hoping they're going to stifle us with it.
Yeah.
We're not stupid. You're not patriotic. You're traitors, so...
Yeah, that's it. I totally agree with you. Well, I don't know what you think, but, okay, Farage was raging. I mean, it was very American, you know, the whole thing with reform. I mean, just have a listen to him, what he's, you know, predicting here.
We are all ships rising on a turquoise tide, headed ever closer towards winning the next general election.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, a bit like Labour by default, because the fake cons were utter garbage. Yeah, I think it's going to be theirs. One thing that's, I don't know, there were so many issues with this. Well, what was the karaoke about? I mean, do you know what? It's probably better than that. Oh my God, the Labour one, isn't that always fun? It was probably better than that, but I don't know. I'm going to be honest. It was a bit, I don't know, a bit, like you said, a bit Americanized, a bit tacky.
It was. It was. And
too many liked it. It wasn't a rave. You know what I mean?
Was very, very much based on the way that American politicians, you know, and parties actually do their conferences, you know, to try and drum up the crowds. Because he had a big crowd there. He had a full house, no doubt about it.
Yeah, not quite. Seen some pictures there where there's quite a few empty seats.
Well, then he's going to come on like Donald Trump did and just say, "No, it wasn't. It was full."
Yeah, but there was. Now, with Donald Trump, what they done is CNN literally filmed his inauguration about 3 hours before anyone had got there.
That's right.
And then
That's what they did.
All you had to do is flip to another tab on their website and see their live feed from the actual event, where you could zoom right in and actually pick people out. You could even go in and find Alex Jones and other people, and it was rammed. So they literally debunked themselves on their own website, morons.
Well,
but I don't know. I mean, it didn't fill me with confidence.
Okay.
I'll take these over anything else any day of the week. Do you know what I mean? Because if they can even do half the things they're saying, it's an improvement. But I just think the caliber of some of the people on that stage at the end leaves a lot to be desired, mate.
Well, here's the first policy flip-flop. You ready?
It's a political impossibility to deport hundreds of thousands of people. We simply can't do it. At the moment, it's a political impossibility.
But is it your ambition?
No. Yeah, I'm not going to get dragged down the route of mass deportations or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, people are always going to come and go, and we are a country that's engaged in international trade, and we have relationships around the world through the Commonwealth, etc. But yeah, we have to aim at a balanced migration policy.
But net zero still means hundreds of thousands of people coming into Britain, immigrants coming into Britain. Isn't that too many?
It may well be, but we have to start somewhere.
Trump says in America that he wants mass deportations. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants are in Britain at the moment. Some estimates say the number could even be in, 1 million plus. So do you support deporting all of those people?
It's impossible to do. Literally impossible to do.
Okay.
In terms
now
of the
listen to
atmosphere
this.
in Britain, are you concerned that there is a right?
Upon winning the next election, a reform government will launch a 5-year emergency program to track down, detain and deport all illegal migrants in the United Kingdom.
So it's impossible to deport hundreds of thousands, but very possible to deport millions. Okay, I get it. It's encouraging, it's positive, but are they easily just going to flip-flop back to another position and flip-flop, and here we are, and up and down, and round and round, and I just want some consistency.
Well, here's some consistency for you, because you went on about this, and this is another American way of introducing people, and they brought Lucy Connolly on, and I don't know.
Edie was selected to represent our country at
That's her daughter when she's talking about Edie. Lucy Connolly's daughter.
World Junior Championships. Amazing. And about a month ago, she went to the World Junior Championships, and Proud Dad was there taking pictures. All the girls were posing with their national flags, Australia, Germany, America, and Edie, of course, representing our country. And Ray sent to Lucy in prison pictures of their daughter and all the other girls with their national flags. And Lucy got in touch with Ray and said, hang on, there's 5 photos you've sent me that have been censored. Which child with a flag were you not allowed to see, Lucy?
My own. Because she was, I didn't know why at the time, so I rang Ray and I said, these photos you sent me, I assumed that maybe she was in a bikini or something like that, because you can understand why they wouldn't let you have those on your wall or whatever. He said, no, they were all Edie just playing golf and the plants in the garden and stuff. And he said, maybe it was because of the flag. I was like, no. Anyway, when I got out of prison and I got my stored prop, there was the photos with Edie draped in the flag with all the different country flags and the other children, but I wasn't allowed it.
That is Orwellian bureaucracy.
It's madness.
That is really nasty.
So,
you can't even see a photo of your own kid representing her country holding her national flag.
No, apparently not.
Okay, so your views on that Statsman, the great Statsman.
The treatment she received is shocking. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure this was the right move, getting her on the stage. Yes. I feel her pain and I sympathise with everything that happened to her. I just don't think she's a hero. Not as much as someone like Tommy Robinson or someone who's...
Oh,
actually,
Tommy is the real hero, no doubt
let's
about
just
that.
put this into context, and I'm not being harsh, but yeah, she was harshly done to. But at the end of the day, she was a potty mouth online who said something which she could have easily pleaded not guilty for, but she chose to plead guilty.
She was advised.
And suffered the consequences. Now, I'm not sure that makes you a hero. So you're meant to be on the stage at Reform when there's other people who've actually literally given up their lives and put themselves in prison.
Oh, God. Even put their lives at risk.
I think they're using it. I'll be quite honest. I think she should give them a wide berth, mate, and just get her life back on track. I'm not sure she's someone we should be. I just don't know. It just...
Fair enough.
To me. Well, but one of the things that's bugging me here with this Reform thing, and I've listened to some of them now. I listened to the Gawain Towler, whatever his name is, and David Stark, he was interviewing him. Now, I'm getting the feeling that Reform, and these are their words, are looking for people outside of politics to put in the positions in the cabinet, etc.
Yeah.
So not because Gawain Towler said, well, they don't have to be MPs in the cabinet. They don't have to be elected. They're going to look for the brightest, the best, people with track records of getting things done. I'm worried about the democraticness of this. Is that a word? Look, you vote for your MPs to make the decisions in Parliament, do you not?
Yep.
If those MPs aren't making the decisions, then what's the point of getting rid of all the quangos? We need to hand power back to the elected officials, not people outside. Yep. So basically you're saying Farage is just going to go around and handpick all the people for the cabinet himself.
Yeah, that's going to be wrong.
Again, it is wrong because the membership should have input on policies and they should be able to vote on the policies too. It sounds like that's not what's happening, but a little glimmer of light, unless you want to chirp in, I've just got one more thing.
Well, what I wanted to say was simply, okay, I felt like Francis then.
It's okay, I'll carry on, Francis.
That was such a great video with trigonometry.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
What I was going to say was this. It is definitely the Farage show. And everything that is on there is to do with the greater glory of Farage. Now, okay, it does look like they're going to be the only ones. You know, the only horse in the race. And they're saying all the right things. And the mood music is correct. And what you're saying is, will they have the people to back it up?
I don't know. When you're looking at all those people on the stage at the end, if they're our hope for the future. I mean, Gawain Towler even was asked, would you do it? And he said, well, if I had to, I would do, but it's not something I want to do. That's not what I want to hear.
No.
That's not what I want to hear from someone who's going to be in the cabinet trying to fix this mess. And I just don't think they get the gravity of how big this is going to be to fix it. But one tiny little shining light was to find out that David Stark, he's involved on helping with the policy to reverse all the Blairite stuff. But
well, that leads us on very, very nicely to your new policies.
Yeah, I'm just not sure even he knows what really needs to be done, like the actual gravity of this situation.
Well, so, I mean, can we bring up one of your first policy, new policy?
Well, this is what I'd do, yeah. I've called it restoration because we've kind of got to restore it to how it was, but then we've also got to make some modern changes. So we've definitely got to revisit the social contract between the Crown, Parliament and the people.
Yep.
Because the Bill of Rights has just been totally ignored. And we've got to safeguard our ancient liberties, freedoms, property, religion, security, and a whole lot more. So the plan would be, for me, is to go back and update and strengthen the Bill of Rights, the English Bill of Rights, the Coronation Oath, all the oaths of Parliament, the Civil Service, police, the judiciary. Everything's going to change.
Yeah.
And there's going to be built-in accountability mechanisms for the public. So I will reveal what they are. Have we got another one?
Yep.
There we go. So obviously it's going to reinforce your freedoms, your free speech, your property, just as the list goes on. This is where we've got to work on now, limiting the power of the monarch, Parliament, the judiciary, everyone. We've got to explain to them what their actual place is.
Yeah.
And this is going to shock a lot of people, But political parties have not served us well. They've got to go. Even if someone like a Remove, I know it's a bit of a jokey thing, but even if they got into power, once all this has gone through, they've got to go.
I love what you've done there.
Leaders have got to act individually. There's going to be no party policy influence. There's going to be no foreign influence, no ideologies, nothing. So you've got Blair, the Fabians, all that in the bin. Now,
in the bin.
The reason there's a question mark over the Crown is because if I got into government, he'd get two options. He'd either this option of doing what you are meant to do by that contract you took with your oath.
Absolutely.
Or you're gone, and so's the monarchy, I'm afraid. And we'll start afresh. I think there's one more, is it?
There is. You were very, very busy, sir.
So that's going to be it. The supreme law of this country, as stated in the Bill of Rights, will be our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and the modern equivalent too. Now, it's going to ruffle some feathers, but heritage matters. So at the minute, I'm thinking the leaders of all the main institutions, Parliament, the police, the judiciary, and everyone, have got to be English to uphold its freedoms. I'm actually thinking of extending that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Should all elected officials have heritage to this country?
And it could be a little bit controversial, that one, sir. But I agree with you.
It could be if you're in Japan or Nigeria. I think it's probably that way anyway. So I'm not asking for anything unrealistic. I'm asking for a country to be led by the people who've been born in this country and literally built this country for generations, whose families have been here. In fact, all I'm doing, John, is I'm taking the logical option because nothing else works. The multicultural thing isn't working at all. Most other countries in the world have got that. The Japanese run Japan, the Nigerians run Nigeria, etc., etc., etc. So why does it need to be different for us? I can't take any other stance on this because it's illogical. So
I agree.
We're going to have accountability so we can remove these leaders who betray their oaths. So ideally, I'd like built-in legal mechanisms where the public don't have to pay and they get some kind of constitutional court. And if all else fails, we'll bring back Article 61 of Magna Carta, but it'll be slightly different modern version. So we'll have lawful rebellion and we will refuse unconstitutional authority. The king's got a choice to make. And if he refuses the two choices, well, that won't go down well because that's going to sound like a bit of an absolute monarchy. And then he can refuse to enact daft stuff. But he can't refuse. He can refuse unconstitutional legislation. That's fine. But this, what I'm working on, I've drafted the whole Declaration of Rights.
And we're going to have a separate cast, on this because I think it's a very, very interesting way to put things forward. And I think probably David Starkey will be nicking some of your ideas right now.
To be honest, I've been watching him for a lot of years, and I learned some stuff off him in the early days. But more recently, I think he's realised that to save the nation of Britain, we've got to start with England, and we've got to start with the English Constitution. And the King could not refuse to enact this legislation by saying it's unconstitutional because this is the most constitutional thing I've probably ever seen. And I hope David Starkey's got a lot of this stuff in the background, but that's just touching on the edges.
Yeah.
This is a massive project, and it's got to be what someone has to do when they come in. They've got to reverse all this stuff and then make improvements to solidify.
There are reasons why it has to change, and it has to make fundamental changes. And this is a US policeman on the state of the UK. All right, listen to this.
The end of the United Kingdom is literally within sight. And I'm talking to you from somebody who knows, because the end of America was in sight. We were on the precipice of the end of our country as we know it during the last presidential election. Now, I know the Trump haters are going to come in and say, blah, blah, blah. We got, he's Hitler and blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about normal people that can understand and critically think and don't have to love a guy to understand that he's doing the best job for our country. And in this case, we could forget everything else. Let's just talk about the open borders and the immigration. In a way, I feel guilty, not that I voted for any of that shit, but, and by the way, my wife and two of my kids are immigrants, born in Vietnam, blah, 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 blah. I don't need to sit here and prove to you that I'm not a racist. If I have to prove that to you, you don't know me, you haven't watched my stuff, and I'm not going to waste time going through it. Being called a racist at this point doesn't have the same effect it did years ago.
That's right.
So with that in mind, I feel a little bit guilty because American psychotic liberals imported or exported this whole woke, open borders, liberal crap. And for some reason, the European leaders sucked it up. And now you guys in the United Kingdom are virtually fighting for your very lives. You've got people that go to jail. They're in jail for shit that they put out on Facebook. You got people being arrested. There's no freedom of speech. There's two-tiered policing right in front of everybody's face. They don't even try to hide it. And look, man, in case you don't know, I'm retired LAPD and a 12 years former federal agent with an OIG in Washington, D.C. And it was in that capacity that I went over to the UK and I worked very closely with the British Transport Police. And I was in high-level meetings at the New Scotland Yard. I loved the law enforcement. This is a long time ago. This is back in the 90s. And I was all over Europe in the 80s when I was in the Army. I got stationed in West Germany. And, of course, when you're there, you go everywhere. Look at Germany now. Holy shit. You talk about Germany versus how it was when I was there. Oh my.
Well, unmute yourself, Mark.
Sorry, I was having a cough.
Well, meanwhile, in Texas, and you can now he's talking about that, okay? And you brought up about Dearborn in Michigan, right? Here's what's happening in Texas.
God, I'll go off on a whole nother tangent. But the point is you guys are having a big rally coming up.
And not violate the religion of Islam by selling and distributing products that are against the religion, because we should love what Allah loves and we should hate what Allah hates. This is what we're here for, and little by little, one by one, we're going to be visiting all of the stores in the neighborhood, particularly the inner city neighborhoods where the religion of Islam is ignored.
Okay, tell us about Dearborn, Michigan, because he's talking about us. But meanwhile, in Texas, these guys are trying this on. And I know exactly what's going to happen.
This is what slightly frustrates me, because they're all great in America at saying how you're going to be the first Islamic state with nuclear weapons, blah, blah, blah. But I think they really need to be looking at their own doorstep.
It's happening over there. You can see it.
This is in Texas.
Yeah.
So now they're going to throw the weight around. I mean, it's funny, really, because all that's happening here is the Muslims are trying to actually get other Muslims to actually be Muslim. And in our country, we're just trying to get ours to be English. So I can kind of feel their pain. But they should be doing that in another country where it's Islamic, and then I'd have no problem with it.
Yep.
But that just tells me then there must be a lot of Muslims in Texas who eat pork, drink beer, and gamble.
Yep.
But indeed, but they've got their own problems. So I think we should probably concentrate on what's going on here, and they should concentrate on what's going on there. If you go to Dearborn in Michigan, it's 56% Muslim 2 years ago. 56%, residents claiming they're Arabs.
Right.
So I could safely say that most of them are probably going to be Muslim. It's the largest Muslim population per capita in the US. It's primary Shiite. I mean, it's not that good there. It's not that good there, but I wouldn't go that far. No, it's Shia, or Shiite, as I call them. And who do they support? Hezbollah, Iran, It's got the largest mosque in North America. It's definitely a parallel society where they all speak Arabic. They're even trying to get it on the police badge. It's on there now.
Wasn't that recalled, though, very quickly?
Well, I'm not too sure, but the Wall Street Journal have even wrote an article last year saying, "Welcome to Dearborn, America's jihad capital." Although they didn't quite give any examples of any jihad. But, of course, the Muslim mayor called it Islamophobic, and guess what happened? Extra patrols by the police outside the mosques. Are you seeing any similarities here, John?
Oh, Jesus.
Here's another one then. Their equivalent of the Muslim Council of Britain, which is the Council on American Islamic Relations, denounced the article rather than the jihadis. Now, what they're talking about is there's protests over there all the time, and they're always shouting death to Israel, death to America in their own country.
Yeah, they
and
do.
Supporting Hezbollah and Hamas. You had David Wood, and I don't know if you follow David Wood, but he's brilliant. He spanks Muslims at debates and stuff. He's brilliant at it, right? So him and his mate were actually arrested at the International Arab Festival for handing out Christian literature. But thanks to the American Constitution and them having some testicles, that was all done away with when the legal aspect came into it, because they've actually got some rights over there. So they were a jury acquitted them, you know, of just handing out stuff. You've got Hizbut at they're alive and well over there. And if you think it's just Dearborn, well, let me tell you, God knows how to say this, Hamtramck, that's you should know, you lived over there, in Michigan, 40 to 50%. It's the first US city with an all-Muslim city council.
Well, do you know, that's what they're doing. They're trying to turn the places the same way that Birmingham, Leeds, and the others keep going.
Yeah, you got Paterson, New Jersey, called Little Ramallah. Oh, dear. That's 25 to 30%. Anaheim, California, called Little Arabia. Brooklyn, New York, you got Bay Ridge, Little Palestine, Sunset Park. Problem with over there is it's a lot of Palestinians, Yemenis, Syrians, Egyptians. It tends to be involved in the Muslim Brotherhood and a lot of stuff like that. So
why did
they've got problems coming, John?
Why are they allowing it to go on? Because, you know, Qatar have banned the Muslim Brotherhood. Most of the other, you know, people, you know, in the Middle Eastern countries, they ban them. They won't have them in.
Like this country, I would not wholly rely on just your constitution to save you from this, because look what's happened to ours. Problem with a constitution is it's only as strong and as good as the people who fight for it.
That's right.
It gives those people a reason to fight. If you don't fight, what'll happen to you is what's happened here, and your constitution's just been pissed on and ignored, and no one cares, unless the politicians want to use it for their free speech in Parliament and to raise your taxes. Frauds.
Well, I'm going to call it there. All right, we got through an awful lot, and here's something that I feel that everybody is going to like. No, it's a song. I don't know who did it.
Oh, we getting copyrighted again.
I don't know who did it, okay? But it kind of sums up the mood of the whole country. So with that, I say thank you to everybody that's been listening tonight. Thank you, Statsman, for all your input there and your views on the Constitution and everything that's going on. And we'll say good night, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Or could it be see you next Thursday?
You've just described the majority of the cabinet.
There you go. Oh my God! Here you go. Yes.
Get him off.
Right.
Get him in his silly beard off the screen, John. What the hell? Oh, I like this. This is great, isn't it? Definitely getting copyright.
Axes flashing on Dundee Street. Rumors faster than police feet. Braveheart girl, the headlines roar. Truth gets trampled, clickbait scores. Arrive by boat, demand for star. We don't know who you even are. We raise our flags, they sneer far right, but still we wave them every night.
Yes, look at that.
Sadiq says what's a grooming gang. London sighs while mothers clang. Politicians dodge, the bills grow tall. The taxpayer pays the tab for all. Arrive by boat, stay rent free. Full hotels, but no room for me. We raise our flags, they scream extreme, but pride's not hate, despite their dream. From Ulster streets to valleys in Wales, from Cornish coasts to Highland trails, the Union Jacks refuse to fall. They call it hate, we call it all. Epping burns with protest flame. Ministers shuffle, none take blame.
right there, look, that's it.
Charities war,
right on it.
hunger's fight, but Braveheart echoes stand and fight. Arrive by boat, we foot the bill. Freedom's gone, but
everybody.
the bar's filled. We raise our flags, they mock on cue, but we wave them strong. The red, white, blue. Arrive
them flags flying.
Thank you, Ray.
But they'll never take our flags from you.
Isn't that fantastic?
That's brilliant. It's just sad that the depiction of a child with an axe and a knife